Gen 2 introduced the concept of baby Pokemon, and truly some of these are quite awful. But not all of them. Not all babies are created equal in Pokemon, which is such a weird sentence to say on YouTube. But either way, there were 8 of them introduced, and it led me to think, could we actually beat Pokemon Gold by only using baby Pokemon? Let's get started and see what can happen. So we can only use baby Pokemon, of course, and there's a load of other rules that I usually do for a lot of these challenges anyway. They'll be down in the description for you. So let's get started with this run. Now, as I said, there are 8 baby Pokemon that you can use in Pokemon Gold. Some of them really actually kind of good, and the others really terrible. You know exactly which one or two that I'm talking about here. So, with that being said, which Pokemon do we start off with? Well, I'm going to be a little bit kind to myself today, and I'm going to start off with an Electkid, baby form of the Electabuzz line. And you know what? I actually think this is a really good Pokemon. Even for a baby stage, I honestly think it's really, really good. Too Slick, thank you for subscribing. You're going to be our Electkid for today. Let's get started with this run. So, one of the main tropes that, of course, was introduced with baby Pokemon. Of course, Pikachu got its baby form with Pichu, but the trio of Magmar, Electabuzz, and Jinx also got baby Pokemon. And then they kind of left Jinx in the past when they decided to put Mr. Mime into that trio instead, but either way. Honestly, there's a lot of these Pokemon that are just really good, but the one that really stands out as bad, that's going to be Tyrogue. Tyrogue, if you've watched my solo run with it or any other videos that include Tyrogue, it's really an awful Pokemon. I genuinely put it down as one of the worst 6 in this generation. One of the major reasons for that, low base stats, and then of course it only learns one move via level up, and that is Tackle. It's literally there to be evolved. That's the whole point of it, it's there to be evolved. No one in their right minds would ever use their Tyrogue, unless you're doing one of these challenge videos like I'm doing today. And we'll see why it's that bad as well later on in this run. So, beating the rivals Chikorita, starting off pretty comfortable for a Electkid with just quick attack. And our ad for today is going to be Thomas Radberg. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel, mate. Let's see how you do against us in the baby team. So, we're going to really struggle with some things in this run. Like, baby Pokemon typically are not bulky whatsoever. Or at least not. I think Wynot's quite bulky, but in terms of the ones in this generation you can catch, not very much at all. Now, before the first gym, I am going to go and catch myself a Cleffa, just because I wanted to add more members to the team. So we are using Game Shark codes here to add in. And this will just make sure that I don't overwhelm before we get into Falconer. We also I don't think we get any electric type moves before Falconer with Electkid, so to be fair, I think adding another member to the team is all fine. Plus, this is one of my videos, and it's up to me. Unicorn Stalk, you're going to be our Cleffa for today. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. Let's get started with Falconer's Gym. Now, Cleffa starts off with some okay moves. It starts off with Charm, which lowers attack by 2 stages. It gets Encore, which if you time it right can also really be a good strategy. And it gets the move Pound. Electkid, of course, he's got Quick Attack and he's got Leer. And very, very soon, most likely, we'll get Thunder Shock or Thunder Punch. I can't remember which level gets off the top of my head because I don't have that in front of me. But let's see how we do against Falconer. We managed to do his gym trainers pretty comfortably with just normal type moves. Well, Falconer is another kettle of fish. Big problem with that, and one of the reasons why I thought Electkid would be a good challenge to start off with, is the fact that he has the move Mud Slap. Level 9 we do get Thunder Punch, so we did get a really good move early on. But because of the Mud Slaps, we also fail. You might see that I had a Pidgey in the party there. Again, that is just a HM Pokemon for now, for when we need to get Fly, because none of the baby Pokemon can actually learn Fly. We really do not do well against this Pidgeotto. As soon as Mud Slaps come out, my major strategy is kind of gone. So, the next time around, we level up to the level cap of level 9. We use Charm, put the Pidgey's attack into the ground, and also use Sing to keep it asleep. Main thing here, I just want to try and take down this first Pidgey with just Cleffa, which I think is more than doable at this stage, especially with Sing on your moveset, and of course with Charm, making sure they can't deal that much damage. When the Pidgeotto comes out, Cleffa only has one job, and that is to hit a Sing, which it does not get. But thankfully, at level 9, Electkid can come in with 2 Thunder Punches to get the win. So instead of just trying to under-level the fight, just go to level 9, get the move, and it'll make it so much easier. With that done, that is one gym badge down, and we can go and pick up a third Pokemon. Of course, this is going to be the egg Pokemon Togepi. I don't even know if that is its categorization, but still, we are going to pick up the Togepi egg and head through Union Cave. I'm going to just let it hatch naturally instead of just forcing it by running around Violet City again. So this time around, we're just going to let it hatch whenever it wants. In Union Cave, there are some big problems, and again, this is another reason why I chose Elekid to start off with. When you go through Union Cave, there is an Onix trainer and then there's a Geodude trainer. It's pretty much just like a budget Brock fight, but spread out over 2, because one of them's got a level 11 Onix, which takes a long time to get down. It doesn't deal out much damage, but the fact it has bind and also it's got ridiculous defenses also means that it takes a long time to take it down. So once we've dealt out as much damage as we can with Clefairy, we can then bring in Elekid, who can quick attack it into the ground after getting -6 on Leer. It takes a while to get through Union Cave with these 2 Pokemon because baby Pokemon don't deal out much damage. So bringing ourselves into Azalea after quite a while, we then head to the Slowpoke Well. Slowpoke Well's got quite a few challenges, but nothing that this team really can't handle. And we're only around about level 13 going against the final Rocket with a level 14 Coffin. Clefairy here has only got one job. Set up Sing, set up Sweet Kiss, and then leave it to Elekid. Pretty much that is all Clefairy's role in this team so far, is just to be a setup Pokemon, while Elekid takes the brunt and deals out the damage. From here, completing the Slowpoke Well, we have the gym challenge to contend with here. But we could also go against the rival first, but with just these 2 Pokemon, I don't think it'll be very, very easy. But the gym challenge should be more than doable with these 2 Pokemon. Togepi might also hatch by this point as well, so we'll soon find that out as well. And Clefairy, yeah, it's really not that good of a Pokemon, but I would say it's a damn sight better than Igglybuff, which is another baby Pokemon introduced in this region, and one that we will pick up pretty soon, really. Clefairy has got just a little bit better in its stats, better spread of its stats as well, but Igglybuff's pretty much just got HP and that's it, and even then it's not great. Bugsy is going to be, you know what, not too bad. With having Thunder Punch so early on in Elekid, we've got a really powerful move to deal with a lot of his Pokemon, plus Electric type is super effective against Cypher, so just one of them does half damage, and he can't set up enough Fury Cuts to get taken down, and 2 Slick gets us a win at level 16. Yes, we did that completely at the level cap, below the level cap, and it was quite an easy fight in all honesty, but that's pretty much just down to the electric typing. So, the rival Azalea fight. This one is, as I say on a lot of videos, easily one of the hardest rival fights in the entire game. Just for the fact that his Bayleaf is so tanky, and the available moves that you would have at this point in the game really not well suited to take on a middle stage starter Pokemon. So what we do, we try and get it to sleep, we try and Sweet Kiss it so it'll hit itself with confusion, and then we just slap it down with Pound, just chipping away at it for as long as we can before we bring in Elekid. Elekid here, kind of annoyed that we didn't get to a point where it was on low HP. We get Poison, which is a very bad thing in this fight, especially when against the Bayleaf it's using Razor Leaves and you're down on low HP, so we need to try this again. Thankfully we do have quite a bit of wiggle room with the level cap to work with, because Goldenrod's not too far. There's not any mandatory fights you need to do after this point before you can really get to Whitney, so if we really wanted we could go up to level 20 and make this a lot easier on ourselves, but I'm not about that today. We're going to try and do this as low level possible really, and at some point that's probably not going to work in our favour, and we might have to. So another thing to think about with the baby Pokemon team, more than half of them, I mean, you've got Clefairy, you've got Togepi, you've got Igglybuff. 3 of them are normal types. They don't get the fairy types until later generations. You've got 2 electric types with Pichu and Electabuzz. You then got Magby, who's a fire type, Smoochum, who's a psychic ice, and then Tyrogue, who's a fighting Pokemon. In terms of type spread, not that great apart from the elemental trio really of this team. Pichu compared to Elekid is just ultimately worse. Like stat wise, move coverage wise as well. Like Elekid, Magby, and Smoochum all get access to elemental punches. Or if not elemental punches, they get access to the likes of Fire Blast, Blizzard, Thunder. They get some incredible moves. Our Togepi finally hatches from the egg, and we go with Lelividel. I can't pronounce that. You're going to be our rival for today. I'm sorry that I couldn't pronounce your name. But yeah, we have got our Togepi, and if we struggle against Whitney, I might be tempted to actually add another Pokemon to this team. Togepi is an interesting case anyway, and it will be quite useful. It starts off with only Growl and Charm, meaning you're going to have to use Struggle if you actually want to deal damage, or you go and switch train until it actually learns Metronome at level 9. Now, Metronome, fantastic move. It's fun to use, as we found in this Metronome only challenge earlier this month, and I haven't done that in Gen 2 yet, so it could be something we do later down the line. Togepi actually gets really good luck on the Metronomes to start off with, getting a Dragon Rage and then Vital Throw. I forget Vital Throw is actually introduced in this generation. And then we switch into Cleffa, who gets the Sing and Sweet Kiss combo off, before then starting to pound. But before that, the Miltank wakes up straight away and just stomps my entire team. So what can we do different here? Well, this time I tried starting off with Elekid just to get the Thunder Punches in. We do take a little bit of damage from the Clefairy, and wow, a lot of damage from Clefairy. That brings in Miltank, and I kind of want to sack one of them off, so I'm going to go straight into Cleffa, who can get nothing off, bringing us into Togepi. This is a bad situation, but we actually hit a Metronome Mud Slap, and that might be enough to work. Roll out misses, stomp them misses, we get a Paralysis. This is looking good in our favour. Fully paralysed, and that one Mud Slap from Togepi just saved the entire attempt. Do not skip on Togepi, that thing will throw mud in your eyes. That's 3 gym badges down. We can go and pick up the Squirt Bottle to get past the Sudowoodo. And you know, I'm actually quite impressed that these 3 Pokemon have actually managed to do this, but with the 4th gym coming up, I think it's fair to add in a 4th Pokemon, and I'm going to do that with Igglybuff. Now, you're probably thinking in the comments there, the next gym is the Ghost Gym. Why are you adding a 3rd normal type to your team? That is absolute... Like, why? Why are you doing that? Well, I'm a bit of a masochist. Our Igglybuff for today is going to be a Phil for the Dramatic. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel. And we're going to go see how we can actually do against this gym. Yes, it's a Ghost type gym, but at the same time, Ghost moves can't hit normal types. So that actually works in our favour, sort of. Means we've got just as many advantages as he does, but I'm also doing this run with just level up movesets. So far, as you can see, Igglybuff is kind of like a carbon copy of Cleffa, but with just a worse stat spread. Metronome it makes Togepi so good. Like, you get the right move that comes out, and it's just a great move to have. And then you've just got Elekid, who can just one-shot with Thunder Punch. So to be fair, I don't think we're going to struggle all too much with this gym. We've got a lot of status-inflicting moves to make this easier on ourselves. And of course, Elekid, who can just one-shot Ghastlies, apparently, by punching them with a little bit of electricity. So we'll see how we do against Morty anyway. Morty, the worst thing on his team is going to be Hypnosis. Pretty much all of his Pokemon have it. They've also got the move Curse as well, but because we're going in with a team-based run, we don't have to worry too much about Curse because we can just switch out and stop the Curse damage. We're trying to level up our Elekid as much as possible here because we need its speed and we also need its power from Thunder Punch. Anyway, let's see how we do against Morty. Of course, he's going to start off with his Ghastly. We just go for the Thunder Punch, and it's not even a one-shot. We get Spited as well, meaning there's less PP to work with, and that's never a great thing. We then take down the second Haunter after it curses and then takes itself out. And because we're cursed, I thought, you know what, let's just stay in with Elekid. With low HP, Dream Eater's not going to recover that much back. So then we're going to switch into our Togepi and try and get a Sweet Kiss off. But then we get put straight to sleep and Dream Eater again. I always forget the Sweet Kiss only has 75% accuracy. Plus, that Gengar outspeeds everything on our team. Pretty much all of the baby Pokemon, not very fast whatsoever. There's only Elekid, Smoochum, and Magby that have got a decent amount of speed behind them. Even Pichu, you can kind of argue that Pichu does have some decent speed behind it, but I don't know how useful a Pichu's going to be. When I did Pichu only run myself, it really struggled. And so did we in this fight. We lost completely. Still think it's the right start though. We start off with Thunder Punch and then he cursed himself. From here, we are cursed, so it might be worth switching out. And I forgot that I hadn't put set mode on, so we're going to have to waste a turn doing that. We then put a Sweet Kiss on the Haunter, take a bit of damage with our Togepi. And then we fly up high because of Metronome taking it out. That's pretty funny. So Togepi's only job now is to try and get Sweet Kiss off, which it doesn't manage to do, but it's only on 3 HP. Bringing ourselves into a Phil for the dramatic. Phil gets put straight to sleep and Dream Eated. Well, thankfully the Gengar is also at full HP, so we don't have to worry too much about it recovering loads of HP. We then manage to hit a Sing after he misses a Hypnosis, hit the Sweet Kiss, and we're in the money right now. We can switch. It walks straight back up. Okay. Thunder Punch and see if it works. The confusion damage is really helping us out when we take down Gengar. Last up is Haunter, and we've only got 2 Pokemon to work with here. But 2 Thunder Punches gets us the win, and you know what? Quite an easy fight when you get the right luck. That was not easy whatsoever, I'm lying to you. That was difficult with this team. To get the right look like that, you were probably looking more than double figures worth of attempts. So I decided to give myself some more chew and go against the rival in the Burnt Tower. This is an optional fight, and I'm pretty much just doing this for some extra experience because, as we know in Johto, the level curve is very weird with experience. So, getting the... Oh man, we've been mean looked. I have to stay in here. We get cursed, but that's fine. It brings in Magnemite, and now we can switch out because now that the Haunt has been taken down, mean look is no longer taking effect. And this is when I realised I'm probably going to need a different Pokemon soon because these Magnemites, very annoying. In Gen 1, Magnemites are really not a problem whatsoever, but in Gen 2, just because they get that Steel typing, you know what? Best thing they could ever do to that line was give it that Steel typing. It makes sense to give it to it, but my god, it makes it such a good Pokemon after that. And the amount of chew that Magnemites and Magnetons gave me in this generation over the years, it was the reason why I never used it in this generation, because it angered me so much that I never wanted to use it. The end part of this fight, we start getting some decent luck against the Bayleaf. We hit Sword Stance Acid Armor and then hit a Zap Cannon, paralysing it. This Togepi is just going crazy with its Metronomes. That then brings in Zubat, and an Egg Bomb does massive damage, leaving it on very little HP. We get confused, hit ourselves in confusion, and Sweet Kiss it so it's confused as well. If you can confuse me, I'm going to confuse you. But he breaks our confusion, just leaving Cleffa left. One final pound gets us the win, and Radberg goes down in this attempt. So we've only got 4 Pokemon left. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do the next gym with just these 4 Pokemon, because 3/4 of the team are weak to the fighting type. And unless we get very good Metronome luck, I don't think we'd be able to take on Jasmine either. So it might be time for us to bring in a new player to the team. But which one's going to be the right choice? We'll figure that out in a sec once we beat down this Bird Keeper. This again is an optional fight in the Lighthouse. You don't have to go against this guy. But when experience is quite sparse, you might as well go against a few optional fights. Makes the game a little bit longer, but at least you've got a stronger team to work for it. And we're still within the level cap here anyway. Level cap is level 29, we're only around about level 25. So I feel like we're still managing okay for this point in the run. But this one guy is just like... This just really shows how bad some baby Pokemon are. We're going against the likes of Pidgeys, and arguably very bad Pokemon. Although in this generation on the KC only anime run, Pidgey was ridiculously good. I'll put that one in the... I'll put that one up at the end, you know, when the title cards come up at the end of videos. Go watch my KC anime only run, because Pidgey and Rattata, 2 of the most unassuming like Pokemon, were actually ridiculously good in this region. So yeah, don't skip on Pidgey. At the top of the Lighthouse, we go and start off the Secret Potion side quest. We pick up a rare candy on the way down. And then we head over to Cianwood City. Now, this might be the right time to add in a new member of the team, but we'll soon find out. We've got 3 Pokemon that are weak to the fighting types. We've got Elekid, who's pretty much the carry of the team with just Thunder Punch. Can we beat the Dojo Brothers starting off this gym? Now, the worst thing about these two is the fact you need to fight them back to back to back. And Elekid goes down. Great. And we don't outspeed with any of the rest of our Pokemon. This is going to be a whitewash. And we didn't even take off half its health and our full team just lost. Okay, so if we get a little bit better luck where we get a paralysis early on, we might be okay to do this. We don't get it this time round. And then this time, he misses his jump kick. I completely forget sometimes jump kick can miss. And that is the reason we managed to get through that. The Hitmonchan is far, far easier due to the fact it has no fighting type moves. It has the elemental punches and Comet Punch. After that, it's not really too powerful of Pokemon for this team. We can just get it to sleep, confuse it, and pound away until we get the win. Ice Punches would be very annoying if we got froze, but still, Unicorn Stalk gets us the win there. And that leads us to the gym leader. Can this team, which is very, very not suited for this fight, take on Chuck? Chuck, of course, has only got 2 Pokemon. He's got a Primeape and he has a Poliwrath. We start off with Togepi and get immediately one-shotted. So we bring in our Wigglybuff, who we're trying to set up a Sing on. Didn't happen, and we're just getting one-shotted across the board here with... Oh, Unicorn Stalk actually managed to tank it. That's cool. Okay. Clefairy has managed to clutch up and then gets taken down by Rage. Okay, I'm taking back my admiration there. So we bring in Elekid, who I probably should have done from the start, and Thunder Punch this Primeape down, but we don't even get past the Primeape. So this time around he went for a Leer, and that completely changed the fight up. We got a Spike Cannon in, which managed to deal out, respectable damage. Hits himself with Confusion, doesn't make himself a substitute, and we're already down. We're already doing much better than last time. Hits a Karate Chop, which takes down Phil for the dramatic immediately. And we're pretty much just trying to get him to sleep. Karate Chop, then one-shots Unicorn Stalk, and this is looking all too familiar. Well, from this range, Thunder Punch can one-shot, and then Thunder Punch is a 2-shot on the Poliwrath because we missed the Dynamic Punch. So it's still possible with a Baby-type team to beat Chuck. But it's very lucky that he uses low accuracy moves like Dynamic Punch and Hypnosis. Like, if he used 100% accurate moves, that fight would be ridiculously hard. Bringing ourselves back to the lighthouse, we can go and throw the secret potion down Amphi's neck and head down into Olivine City once more. Now we got a big choice. Do we go against Jasmine right now or do we wait after Price? And it's going to be a difficult one, but I opted to go away. No. And not to just go and do that, to go and pick up a new team member. See, the big problem with this gym is none of our Pokemon have got any super effective moves. So this is why it's a good time to pick up Magby, and Magby is going to be called after our subscriber Draco93X. So it's going to be Dracox for this. Thank you for subscribing, welcome to the channel, and trust me, you're going to make this so much easier. Before we go to Jasmine's gym though, we are going to backtrack and level up a little bit with our Magby, and I realised that I hadn't actually gone to get the HMO 5 Flash. So we head back to Violet City, we head all the way up to Top Sprout Tower, and it still amazes me that even if you're right at the end of the game, you can come back here if you never came here before, and you'll still see that little cutscene with the rival. I think that's still pretty cool. You could have literally completed his side quest completely, come back here, and he will still do that little bit of animation. Our Magby is perfectly suited for this bit, plus it's already level 18. And I think even with a very underleveled Magby, we might still be able to beat Jasmine. We'll soon find out anyway. Once we take down the little Ghastly here, we're going to head back out, and we'll head over to the next town. And while you're here, you might as well go and surf around these bits. You can pick up some good items. And then we'll fly back over to... Should we go to Equity? No, you know what? Screw it. Let's go against Jasmine with an underleveled team of babies. Can we do this against the likes of Magnemite and Steelix? So we're going to start off with against the Magnemites, and we're going to go for Fire Punch. We've managed to get all the way up to level 28 after some training, and then Rock Throw immediately destroys us. So we're having to rely on our other guys, and I was really hoping that Rock Throw would miss because it's got pretty bad accuracy. But once we've got it to sleep, once we've got it confused, Filter the Dramatic manages to do a lot of chip damage. We want to waste the hyper potion that's most likely incoming. There we are. And we need to keep it asleep. Once it has fallen asleep, we manage to... Oh, we don't manage to get back to sleep, and this is looking bad now. Okay, if we Sweet Kiss it... I was really hoping to go for the charms there. If we can get it... My god, why is Iron Tail hitting now completely? There is absolutely no way this Elect Kid is managing to take it down, so I've just reset and we try again. Yeah, this whole fight resides on Magby. There is absolutely no other way that I could get around this fight without Magby. We actually managed to tank one Rock Throw there, and we just sweep with Fire Punch. That is all you need for this gym. You just need a Magby with Fire Punch. And a bit of luck to not get one shot by Rock Throw. So with that, 6 gyms done, I'm going to go and pick myself up a 6th Pokemon. That is going to be Tyrogue. Yes, this Pokemon is pretty bad, and I'm very sorry GL Ditto, but you are going to be our Tyrogue for today. Most likely, you're not going to see much play, but I'm going to catch all the baby Pokemon just so we have them on the team as options. That brings us over to the Lake of Rage, and as long as we're going with Elect Kid, we should be okay here. I don't know why I started off with Togepi with 2 HP, but still. Thunder Punch is quite effective on Gyarados, so it's a very easy win for an Elect Kid. We're talking to this guy called Lance, and he asks us to investigate something, so we'll need to head back to Mahogany Town very soon. Once we've healed up, we can start off the Rocket side quest here. Again, not one of my more favoured parts of this game, but on a team-based run, I've actually come to enjoy doing this part. It's just for the fact that you get a load of experience here that you can spread out across your team. When you're doing a solo run, I find it very, very annoying, this section. I don't know why. That brings us to the end of this side quest, though, where we can go against the executives with, well, an Arbok to start off with. In this Arbok, it'll go down to a couple of Thunder Punches. It's not too powerful. Most of our team are around about level 30 right now, which is honestly around about average, I would say, if for a team-based run. And most baby Pokemon have got very fast level up growths. Most of them, not all of them, I think. But yeah. 2 Slick manages to take down the Arbok, bringing in the Gloom, gets taken down to Absorbs, so we bring in Clefairy, who can just pound it in for a couple of times. That then brings in Murkrow, who's got pretty bad defense. If we can get it to sleep, that'd be perfect, and just round off this fight nicely. With Sweet Kiss as well, after putting it to sleep, and then we pound it down. But you can just see here, like, Murkrow's got ridiculously bad defenses, and yet Pound is still taking about 5 to 6 hits to take down. That's how bad the attack is on some of our baby Pokemon. With that, we also need to take out some Electrodes, which, you know what? I'm going to be kind of cruel here. I just kind of want the Electrodes to explode in us because it finishes the fights easier. But Smoke Screen there manages to make sure that self-destruct missed. So I decided to go for it again. We hit a few Smoke Screens. Self-destruct actually hits this time. Okay, so I couldn't do the strategy I was wanting. Final Electrode out. We just send in GL Ditto. We're hoping that he just self-destructs. And there we go. GL Ditto, you've had some input on this run now. You're going to go mad at me in the comments, I can guarantee you that, but it's all in good fun. You know Tyrogue's a bad Pokemon, I can't do much else about it. None of our Pokemon can learn Whirlpool, so what else can we do? We need to go and beat Price, the 7th gym leader, and then do the Rocket side quest again. This next gym fight, not going to be too bad in my opinion. We've got Electkid that's super effective against the Seal and the Dugong. We've got Magby that's super effective against the Piloswine. I don't think we're going to struggle too much in this gym, but I've also been wrong before in a lot of ways on this channel. I don't claim to be a fountain of all knowledge on this channel for Pokemon. A lot of what I talk about is stuff that I've learnt while doing these runs. Stuff that I've learnt from other channels. I am not a fountain of knowledge, but I would say I'm a kind of a fountain of knowledge on Gen 1 Solo Run because I've completed every single Pokemon Solo Running in Gen 1. If you want to see that, go check out the playlist on my channel. And I hope you enjoy it because that took me 3 years to create, where I've Solo Run every single Pokemon in Gen 1. And we're about 70 runs into Gen 2 Pokemon as well, so next year we'll be finishing off the Gen 2 Solo Runs as well. I know they're not they're probably one of the more niche things you can find on YouTube for Pokemon, but they are just enjoyable to do. Price is out, and we go straight in with Unicorn stock. Why did I not start with Elekid here? Have I put in the wrong bit of footage here? Well, either way, if we can get the Sing off, that's fine. If Clefairy wants to take down the first Pokemon on its own, I'm all good with that. It actually... Oh my god, rest. I completely forget the Seal has rest. I mean, I really shouldn't forget that because it's one of Lorelei's main strategies in Gen 1. Once we've got the Seal to sleep, it's better to keep that Pokemon asleep by using Sing, because otherwise he's going to recover his HP with rest. We then try and set up a Sweet Kiss, but unfortunately that does not work for us. We sing in GL Ditto, hoping to get a little bit of chip damage, and it gets exactly one Dackle off. Tyrogue is bad. It is so bad. We Sweet Kiss on when we finally get into Igglybuff, and then it gets taken down by a couple of Aurora Beams. This Dugong's taken out half my team now. Aurora Beam is just doing massive damage, but we get an Earthquake from Togepi. This is why I kind of like using Togepi. Get a Confusion, which deals out very little chip damage and then gets taken down. So we're just sending in our last two Pokemon, who are easily our best two at this point in the game. And we're just going to Quick Attack and use Swift just to deal out some chip damage before Magby comes in. So if we can put it into a range where Fire Punch can one-shot, that works in our favour. It's at half HP, and I don't know if Fire Punch will one-shot, but it would have one-shot from there. He used a Hyper Potion, but we also outspeed, giving us the win. Magby gets us the win, the 7th badge, and it's probably a good time to add in a 7th team member to the run here. There's only 2 more Pokemon that we have not added to the team, and first off we're going to pick up Pichu. I'll pick up the 8th one just before the 8th gym. Evan Kelly, you are going to be our Pichu for today, and I'm not too sure how much usage a Pichu's going to see in this run. I legitimately put this one down to one of the 6 worst Pokemon in this generation. In fact, on our team right now, we've got 3 of the 6 worst Pokemon that I consider for this generation. And that's going to be interesting in the next couple of days. So, Rocket Side Quest, we don't really have too many problems. Unicorn Stalk is honestly doing really, really well. Clefairy, just for its better stat spread, is the reason why I wouldn't put it in the top 6 worst Pokemon. Its moveset as well, pretty decent. We pick up Screech for Elekid as well, and I decided to get rid of Quick Attack, which might bite me in the arse later, but having a move that will reduce defense by 2 stages when we've got kind of a physical attacking team, I think that works in our favour. Right now we are going to bring in Pichu for our Tyrogue. Tyrogue really just didn't have much to offer, and then we bring in Draco X to finish off the fight. That fight is just more tedious than anything, just for the fact that he's got 5 Coffins and 1 Weezing. When we go against the rival on the Underground, Pichu's biggest thing, I would say, is the fact it's quick enough to get a Thunder Wave off before it will fall. So, it's definitely got a lot more usage than Tyrogue. Definitely got a lot more usage. Too Slick takes out the Golbat in the end. We set up a Light Screen as well, and then we get Paralyzed. So, that's absolutely fantastic. Fire Punch will one-shot the Magnemite, and honestly, I think Magby might be the best Pokemon to take on this entire team. We use Fire Punch twice on Haunter. Sneasel comes out. Yeah, I'm pretty sure like more than half his team is weak to fire, and that really works in our favour. But Magby is also not very bulky. A Body Slam takes it down, and we've got 4 or 5 Pokemon to take down this Meganium. And Meganium can hit hard with Body Slam. It's not the best physical attacking Pokemon, but still, it can deal out some good chunk damage. That brings us into the Rocket Side Quest again, and we head back up to the top of the radio tower with the final rocket fight for this run. I think this is the Archer fight in the remake games. We start off with our Pichu, who gets immediately one-shot by a Feint Attack. Yeah, Pichu is literally a glass cannon. We then bring in Clefairy, who can get a Sweet Kiss and a Sing Off, and then we charm it down into the ground, which I then realised was pointless because a lot of Dark type moves, well, Dark in this generation is special. So I've just wasted a Pokemon, at least I got Confusion off. We bring in Elekid, who just thunder punches through the rest of this fight, bringing us into the Houndoom. Now, I think I won't be able to survive one hit from this Houndoom. Very, very closely, but we get it down to very low HP. We bring in our Togepi, who can tank it with a feint attack, and then Metronome Slam gets us the win. Baby type team can at least get to this point in the run, but the next gym leader up, of course, is going to be Claire, the Dragon type trainer. So I feel like it's a good time to add in our last baby to the team, and that, of course, is going to be Smoochum, the Ice Psychic type. And with the Dragon Gym coming up, you know for a fact that this is going to be very, very useful. Lilliwen does Bushi, you are going to be our Smoochum for today, and trust me, this is going to be one of the MVP Pokemon. Psychic moves, Ice type moves, gets Sing and gets Sweet Kiss. It's got a lot on its arsenal, and genuinely I think it makes it one of the best baby Pokemon in this generation just for those moves and that type coverage. Let me know down in the comments, which do you think is actually the best baby Pokemon in this generation? Personally, I would say it's going to be Elekid, which is weird because one of my favourite Pokemon is Magmar. So you would have thought that I'd love the entire line. I do love Magby and I do love Magmortar, but I don't know. Elekid is just better in this region for me. Taking on Claire, we managed to take down a couple of the Dragonairs with a lot of struggle. We managed to at least try and get some status effects on before each Pokemon falls, bringing us into our Smoochum, which gets immediately one-shotted by a Slam, so not working in our favour this attempt so far. Getting a sunny day up, we also managed to improve the power of our Fire Punches, and we take Dragonair down to very low HP and finally take it down, leaving just... oh no, they've still got 2 Pokemon left. With Sunny Day Up though, Surf should do less, but it's still doing a lot of damage. Thunder Punches are really not doing much to the Kingdra. In fact, nothing that any of our baby Pokemon have got can really take on a Kingdra. So I need to restart that. So we bring in Togepi on the team, who can then set up a Sweet Kiss and then set up a Safeguard if we really need to. But Double Edge is also dealing out a lot of damage. Sweet Kiss just keeps them confused. They hit themselves confusion. We hit a Mach Punch. I really should have been using Double Edge there to finish it off, but we finally get a Metronome Slash, which finishes it off. If I can take out at least one Pokemon per one of my Pokemon, we'll be in very good stead here. I bring in a Phil for Dramatic, who with Sing, Sweet Kiss. A lot of these baby Pokemon, that's another thing about them. The likes of Cleffa, Igglybuff, Pichu, Tyrogue, even Togepi a little bit, although not as much because it gets Double Edge pretty late on its moveset. Those 4 Pokemon, they learn all of their level up moves by around about level 15. Yeah. Pichu's last level up move, I think, is Thunder Wave, around about level 14. This just makes the run even harder, but we have managed to get to this point in the run so far, literally with only their level up movesets. That's what we've been doing so far in this run. This is why you've not seen the likes of Thunder, Blizzard, Fire Blast. It's because we're only using the level up movesets. And this just proves again why I'm such a masochist, because who in their right minds would do this challenge? But I hope you guys are enjoying it anyway, because in truth, I started recording all of the RB Sember videos probably around about May 2025. All of the monotype challenges that you saw at the start of the month, and all of these challenge videos from around about the 16th of this month. Yeah, I've been working on that since May 2025. And it's the end of the year. And I've finished recording these in just the start of October. So that's a lot of time to work on a lot of videos. But I learned from 2024, because I was really, really struggling with getting the videos, and even that month completed by the time it did. Like, I'm pretty sure the last few videos I was doing on the day that just before they were going out. Very sure the very last video, it was about 10 to midnight, and I released my videos at midnight every day, at least from UK time. And it was like 10 to midnight for the last video to go out, and I was still there working. So it was very, very close. So I learned from this year. I managed to get all these videos done well in advance, and I've already started on the videos for next year as well. We managed to get all the way to Victory Road, and this rival is really giving me a problem. We're already pushing ourselves up close to the level cap. Thankfully, Magby has also learnt Flamethrower. Magby is hands down the best Pokemon for the rival. More than half the team is weak to fire, so perfect Pokemon to have in your team for this. Plus Flamethrower, even at level 39 on a baby Pokemon, is still really, really powerful. Meganium goes down to 2 Flamethrowers. It takes a little bit of damage from... Oh wow, Future Sight as well. That did not work out well. Very, very unlikely you see Future Sight actually getting a KO in runs of mine. But it managed to. Razor Leaf is now just tearing through my team, and this is looking really bad. Thankfully, oh my god, I really wish I hadn't got rid of Quick Attack there. That would have made the last hit so much easier. You know what, Thomas Radberg? You've been a really tough rival for this video. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. So, we've managed to get to the league. But can this team of baby Pokemon, only using their level up movesets, take on the league? And you might be wondering, which team are you going to take? Well, have a look on the right there. We decided to take Elekid, Cleffa, Igglybuff's on the bench, Smoochum, Pichu, Magby, Togepi. Now, why am I bringing Pichu when I've said for pretty much all of this video, I think it's one of the worst Pokemon this generation? Literally, it's a little bit fast, and it has Thunder Wave. That is it. That is the only reason that Pichu is on this team. Other than that, I don't really know what use it's going to have, apart from to get a paralysis up. We really struggle against Will here as well. With Cleffa, Togepi being physical attackers and having not much else to work with apart from that, we're really struggling against this Slowbro. We managed to get Sweet Kisses off, Hypnosis from the Metronome, Triple Kick, Extreme Speed. This is what I like using Metronome. It's just fun. You see all these different moves, and we managed to get a Dragon Breath, but that was our last Pokemon. We get taken out at the end. Second attempt though, we get a critical hit on the Xatu starting off, and we managed to finally get rid of Thunder Punch for Thunderbolt, an ultimately better move. When Jinx comes out, we switch into Magby. Oh, that did not take enough. I really wish that had taken out in one hit, so we really need Magby for the Executor coming up. So we are going to switch out, and I can't go to a point where I was sick of set mode for this run, so yeah, I have switched off set mode. Now we are playing on shift. If you don't like that, just let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I got sick of it. We use Flamethrower on the Executor, but we finally get taken down. But that's fine, it's done more than enough damage. Togepi can come in, tank a Psychic, and get the win against the Executor, bringing in the Xatu. Now Elekid's still in the back if we can get Sweet Kiss off, which we can't. We should still be okay here. We can just outspeed the Xatus, we can paralyze them with Thunderbolt. I always forget they can paralyze. And we also waste his max potion. We hit the next Thunderbolt, hits us with a Psychic, and we're on 11 HP. There we go. That's how you beat Will. It's still possible with a baby team only, but is Koga possible with only babies? So of course, he's going to start off with his Ariados, and I decided, let's see how Pichu actually does. And you know, it does surprisingly well here. By paralysing them and confusing them, it does okay. It manages to take down at least half HP, but then we have to bring in our Smoochum to take on the rest of the Ariados. We then bring in Magby to do 4 times damage on the Fortress, and then we set up Sunny Day, hopefully get one massive Flamethrower off before being taken down. This is starting to look bad now. We get Toxic by the Muck, which means we're now on a timer, and then Sludge Bomb just does tons of damage, but we actually roar it out, which is okay in a way. So then we bring in Venomoth, who is nowhere near as good. We manage to get it to sleep, and we start pounding away at it with our Cleffa. That just then leaves our Elekid. But thankfully, with all the status effects, if we can outspeed, which we can't, we would have taken a win. I feel like if we get better luck with a Pichu to start off with, we might be a lot better here. It hits itself in confusion, we Thunder Shock it just to chip away at damage, and we've also been Spiderweb, so we can't switch out right now. That's never great, but even just getting paralysis up on it, Pichu's done exactly what I needed it to do. Magby comes in to flamethrower for the win, and then it flamethrowers the Fortress for another double KO. Muck is out next, and I decide to go for smokescreen strats. If he's going to increase his accuracy, I'm going to lower his accuracy as well. Sludge Bomb does massive damage. We hit with a flamethrower after Sunny Days set up, and Draco X goes down. That means then we're going to switch into Layla Wendo's Bushi and Psychic it down. Crobat is faster than us, so I decided, it's probably a good time to switch out. And if we can get a win with Togepi, that would be amazing. We managed to at least get a Sweet Kiss off. And it's a self-confusion, meaning an Iron Tail comes in and does barely anything. Okay, let's switch into Cleffa and let's see if we can get it to sleep. He's now out with confusion, and yeah, Wing Attack manages to take us down. We've still got our Elekid though. Thunderbolt is a one-shot, and that just leaves Venom off. It's going to take about 3 Thunderbolts to take it down here, and we have the win. So babies can still beat Koga. But can they beat Bruno? Usually Bruno is trash, but I don't know. I don't know here. I mean, it's kind of easy when you start off with Smoochum, but Smoochum's Psychic is not a one-shot. So we sack off our Pichu, Evan Keller, sorry mate, and then bring Smoochum back in for the win. Hitmonchan's out next, and it goes for Mach Punch, which is a one-shot. I was not expecting that. Okay, this is looking bad now. 2 of our Pokemon that are left are weak to fighting-type moves, so we need to bring in another Pokemon. I really wish I Reflect here, but we had Light Screen set up, so that might help us out if they decide to use any Elemental Punches here. We managed to take down the Hitmonchan, but that is pretty much decimated my team. We've only 2 Pokemon left. Unless Magby gets really lucky with Confuse Rays, I don't think we're going to be winning this one. We set up a Sunny Day as well, just to make our Flamethrowers that much more powerful. And we take down Hitmonlee, which is pretty good. We then Confuse Ray the Onix, and it goes for Sandstorm. So now we're on a bit of a timer because it's chipping away at us. But 2 Flamethrowers should take down this Onix, just leaving the Machamp. If we can get a Confuse Ray off, this might work in our favour. We managed to get one off, and he hits himself in confusion. This is looking good. Flamethrower from here might be able to take him out. Confusion damage hits, and then he uses Max Potion. That's never great to see. You just need to keep going with Flamethrower. He's still confused and hitting himself. And yeah, Bruno is still trash, even when you use Baby Team against him. Let's see how we're doing against Karen. Karen is definitely a much harder fight to deal with. We start off with Magby again, setting up Sunny Day for bigger damage on Flamethrower, and we keep hitting ourselves in confusion a bit, but we managed to take down the Umbreon pretty comfortably, bringing in the Gengar. Gengar, I just want to get Confused Ray off, but we get completely trashed by Spite there, getting rid of all of our PP for it. We get paralyzed by Lick, but we take down the Gengar, bringing in the Murkrow. Now, you're probably thinking, I know exactly which Pokemon is going to be a problem for you here. It's not going to be the Murkrow, it's not going to be the Vileplume. It's going to be the Houndoom. That Houndoom, I don't think any of our Pokemon can outspeed it. I don't think any of our Pokemon can actually tank a hit from it, or at least its Flamethrowers. So I've probably started off this run, or at least this attempt, with the wrong Pokemon. We're down to just our Cleffa. Can Cleffa actually tank a hit? It's got decent special defense. It can, it hits a Sting. I was not expecting Cleffa to tank a Flamethrower there. This Houndoom special attack is ridiculous. And I decide, oh, that did not work in our favour. It's all down to Lilo and Bushi, and it's weak to fire, so we do take a loss. Karen, it was a very difficult fight. I think I tried this fight easily in double figures worth of time, and I think it was maybe around about attempt 15 that we actually got this attempt where we won. We got much better luck against the Umbreon, which of course is good to start off with. We then switch out into our Smoochum, which has got Psychic, and will do super effective damage on the Gengar. And of course he uses Curse, which just makes this attempt even much easier. We then switch out into our Togepi when the Houndoom comes in, pretty much just because I want to try and get a Sweet Kiss off. It manages to tank it on 14 HP and get burnt, and then we use our last bit of HP to double edge and chip away at it. Bringing in Evan Keller next, who gets immediately taken down by a Flamethrower. Pichu is so bad. And then we bring in our Elekid. Now I could set up light screen here to mitigate some of the incoming damage, but we don't need to when it is confused and hits its own confusion. So now it's actually wasted the max portion. Now is the right time to bring in light screens. We do get taken down by a couple more, but at least take off as much damage as possible before bringing in Cleffa. From here, we can deal with flamethrowers much better because of the light screen. We get it confused. We're down on 18 HP and we managed to put it to sleep. We're on 3 HP here. She uses a full heal. Really, really cheeky. So we bring in our Magby once more. Crunch deals out massive damage on us, and that just leaves Murkrow. After that, flamethrowers will get us the win. Oh, you quick attacking dick. Thankfully, Smoochum's got enough to deal with, and I decide we'll go for Sing and Psychic. You might see as well, we've also got Perish Song on our moveset for Smoochum. Yeah, that move is absolutely busted if you are Wolf-Glick. I've not had anywhere near the same success using it in these videos. Let's see how we do against the champion Lance. I'm really surprised we've even managed to get to Lance with this team where we're under-leveled. We're only using level up moveset, and we're baby Pokemon with terrible base stats. Evan Keller does really, really well here. It gets the Gyarados confused, paralysed, and takes it down with Thunder Shock. And then it gets one-shot by Hyper Beam. That's just its luck completely. But there is a recharge turn now, so that works in our favour. We can Sing it to sleep, Powder Snow, do quad effective damage on Dragonite. Even though Powder Snow's only got 40 base power, it's quad effective on Dragonites. Next up is going to be the Charizard, and we're going to switch into our Magby. We're going to go for the Confuse Ray, and hopefully Charizard will deal lots of damage to itself. But while it's confused as well, it might be worth switching out into our Elekid, who can use super effective Thunderbolts to take it down quicker. It takes itself out with confusion, and this is looking okay. I'm going to use one Thunderbolt on... Oh, we missed the Hyper Beam, and then we get hit by another, and that's one shot. That might be bad, but at least we've got the recharge turn now where Smoochum can then finish up. That then brings in Aerodactyl, and this thing's scary. This thing's really scary. So I send in a little egg. We sweet kiss it. And I'm hoping I get something good on Metronome, but Hype Beam one-shots us. But that actually kind of works in our favour again, because we can use that recharge turn to get it to sleep and Powder Snow it into the ground. I don't think it's 4 times effective, but one Powder Snow and one Psychic get down to very low HP, and he missed a Rock Slide on the wake up. That was insanely lucky. Now, I could have went for Perish Song here and made this so much easier on myself, but I didn't want to. With that, we bring in our Smoochum again, and because of the recharge turn, again we get that we can get it to sleep. We waste its full heals, we waste its full restores. I was anticipating them because he hadn't used them for the rest of the fight, and 2 Powder Snows gets us the win. Underleveled, a baby-only team can still beat Lance using only its level-up movesets. I'm very impressed by that. I don't know about you guys, but I was very impressed by this. And a lot of the weight came down to the Elekid, Smoochum and Magby. If I'd done this run without them 3 Pokemon, probably would have been impossible. But yeah, we've managed to beat Pokemon Gold, at least up until the Johto League, with just using a baby team and only their level up movesets. I'm impressed by that. It did take us a hell of a long time, as you can see there. 17 hours and 10 minutes to get to that point. We did a lot of training, we did a lot of fights that just took ages because of the moves we've got and the amount of damage we put out. But we still did it. That brings us into Kanto, and you know what, there's only 2 really interesting fights that we need to show, really. That, of course, is going to be Blue, the former champion, and Red, the Pokemon Master. We switch up our team a little bit, bringing Igglybuff back in for Pichu, and we start off with Smoochum against Pidgeot, which was a bad decision, apparently. We're still very under-leveled, we've gone through Kanto and really only used a couple of Pokemon, and Elekid manages to at least take out the Pidgeot before the Rhydon comes in. This is a bad matchup for us, and Earthquake immediately one-shots us, so we need to switch into our Igglybuff, who still can't even tank an Earthquake. So we bring in our Togepi, and well, this Rhydon is just going to destroy my team now, isn't he? We're probably going to have to push ourselves straight up to the level cap just to see if this fight's doable with this team. We have learned some good moves on the way through Kanto though. We have learned Blizzard, Fire Blast and Thunder via level up on the 3 elemental babies. But yeah, we weren't really doing this at low level 50s. So we switch into the we level up to the level cap with our full team, level 58. And we decide to use the right Pokemon against the right matchups. Blizzard one-shots the Rhydon, and then next out comes... who are we going to bring in? Arcanine comes out, so we bring in our Magby to mitigate the fire damage that would be oncoming. Confuse Ray manages do massive damage, and then we start hitting smoke screens. If we can get -6 set up on his accuracy, then his extreme speeds won't hit, his fire flamethrowers won't hit, and then he showed me that he had Swift. Great. Thankfully, confusion damage is really helping us out, and we decide to go for Fire Blast just to try and destroy the rest of his HP, and then he wastes his first full restore. He misses an extreme speed, and I don't know why he's not going for Swift when he's got it on his moveset. We waste the second full restore, and I've only got a couple of Fire Blasts left. He hits himself with confusion again. We're really struggling here. We miss our final Fire Blast, so we have to switch into Flamethrowers. Thankfully, a final extreme speed misses and Flamethrower takes it down, bringing in the Gyarados. But I also need to keep our Magby alive. So we switch into Elekid, who can do a quad effective Thunderbolt, bringing in Alakazam. Now Alakazam is going to be annoying, so we just need to deal as much damage as possible. We use Thunder, which hits the first and misses the second. So we're going to bring in our Togepi to finish off with Double Edge. Can we tank a Psychic? Yes we can, with 20 HP. Bringing in Executor. So we bring Magby back in straight away, Flamethrower, and hopefully this is a one-shot. It is, and there is the win. Baby Pokemon can still beat Blue, the former champion, with only their level up movesets. So that brings us to the very penultimate fight of this run. Can Baby Pokemon only, with their level up movesets to the level cap, beat the entirety of Pokemon Gold? And this includes the final fight of Red. And Red is going to be a nightmare to deal with. His best Pokemon, well, his lead Pokemon's already at level 81. We can push to level 81 if we want to. But the rest of his team's going to be a nightmare. So we are going to go straight in, and I have had to teach Flash to get through here just so he could actually see through the darkness. But I'm not going to use Flash. We're going to use Sing and Sweet Kiss on the Pikachu, hopefully to try and take it down before we actually see anything like a full restore, which annoyingly does come out straight away. We deal out minimal damage with Pound and manage to sing it back straight away to sleep. We Sweet Kiss as well, so it is now sleep confused, and Pound it again a few more times. We're expecting another full restore win coming, so I'm just going to keep going with Pounds, and then he wakes up and takes self out in confusion. I don't know where the other full restores usually are, because he has 3. When the Espeon comes out, Psychic one-shots us, so we need to do something different here. We switch into our Smoochum and we go for a Blizzard. And critical hit freeze. That was very lucky. Psychic finishes it off and he brings in Charizard. Just like the Arcanine in the previous fight, we're going to go for our Magby. And you know what? I'm very surprised that I'm doing this well at level 65. His lead Pokemon, his best, like highest level Pokemon, is 16 levels above us. And we're still holding our own with our movesets that we have. We set up as many smoke screens as possible. We can try and confuse Ray and make sure he damages himself only. And our luck is incredible right now. Literally every single hit has been on himself. We go for Fire Blast, he misses his wing attack. That smoke screen really helped us out. We confuse Ray again. -6 on his accuracy has just been tearing this Charizard apart, and Magby manages to take it down with its own confusion damage there. That then brings in Elekid, and we're going to switch into 2-Slick, our starter Pokemon. If a Thunder one-shots here, we are in good money. It doesn't, but we get the paralysis, and my god, what is the luck that we've got on this fight? Then comes a big problem, and that of course is going to be Snorlax. We have literally no super effective moves for this Pokemon. And I was debating, do we go for the Perish Song strats? Parry Song would work in this scenario, but Body Slam takes down our Smoochum straight away. Now, Red does recognise using Parry Song, so if you use Parry Song on it, there's a high chance that he's going to switch out, and we've got no moves that can keep them locked into this fight. So he withdraws on the final turn, bringing in a Venusaur, which we smokescreen, which is fine. That's fine. We can confuse Rate, and then we can hopefully get another smokescreen off, but Solar Beam does hit us, and this is starting to look really bad right now. We do confuse it, and we keep using smokescreen to lower its accuracy. If we can get it to a range where Fire Blast can one-shot, that'd be perfect. And it's not enough, but because he goes for another Solar Beam, Flamethrower gets the one-shot. And it is all our baby Pokemon against Snorlax now. I really should have waited to use our Smoochum till this point, because then Parry Song would have worked, so he had no Pokemon to switch out into. But Smokescreen Confuse Ray is really working on Magby right now. We've only got one Confuse Ray left, so I decide to go for the Fire Blast. He breaks out of confusion and hits a Body Slam, but that's fine. 2-Slit can finish off, and a very underleveled baby-only team beats Red. We did that at level 65 with only our level up movesets. I was so proud of myself for this run. With Pokemon this bad, we still managed to win and massively underleveled. I don't know about you guys, but I think that deserves a like and a subscribe to this channel, because where else are you going to see those results on YouTube from a PokeTuber like this? Big thank you to all of our subscribers for today, everyone who's contributed, even GL Ditto as our useless Tyrogue. And of course Evan Keller, who honestly played a big part in the Elite Four. I'm really impressed by that Pichu. But Tyrogue really is bad. If you got to this point in the video, again, please smash that like and subscribe, you legends. It really, really helps out the channel. I put a lot of work into this month. It's been a lot of hours to work on this. Well, the entire month in general. All the editing, all the animation. It's been a lot of time that I've put into this. Really appreciate it. And of course, you guys. Hope you guys are fine. It's been a tough year for a lot of reasons. But I hope this channel's giving you some respite from it. Catch you tomorrow, you legends. We've got another challenge running coming.